Welcome to This Explainer. I am so excited to dive into a really fascinating breakdown today. We're going to be unpacking the core concepts behind Destiny Path, which is a new generation of decision-making simulation designed specifically for our modern, unpredictable world. Now, think about it. Every single day, whether we actively realize it or not, we're making choices. And sure, some are small and routine, but others? They shape careers, they build or break businesses, they define relationships, and they ultimately chart the course of our entire futures. In this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly why mastering strategic decisions under uncertainty has become literally the single most valuable skill you can develop right now, and how this unique simulation actually helps you do it. Okay, let's jump right into part one, the age of uncertainty, navigating the unknown. So I want you to really think about this for a second. How do you make choices when you just don't have all the facts? Most of us are perfectly comfortable making a call when everything is crystal clear, right? When the risks are mapped out and the outcomes are totally obvious. But what happens when we're forced to operate in the dark? Well, look at our modern reality. It is chaotic. Markets can flip literally overnight. Technology is evolving so rapidly that it leaves organizations scrambling to catch up. We're seeing consumer behavior shift in totally unexpected ways. And, as we all know a little too well by now, global crises can just pop up out of nowhere. This isn't just some theoretical exercise. This is the very real, highly unpredictable environment that leaders and professionals wake up to every single morning. The harsh truth we have to face is this: the world just doesn't hand us complete information anymore. And yet, right in the middle of all this chaos, you're still expected to make critical decisions, often without having any real idea of what's coming next. Navigating this massive gap of missing data, that is absolutely the defining challenge of the 21st century. Which brings us to Section 2, the decision-making trap and the true cost of pressure. So what actually happens to our brains in this environment? It's a cycle, really, a biological trap. Step 1, a lack of clear answers creates immense pressure. Step 2, that pressure triggers our classic fight-or-flight response, basically flooding the brain with stress hormones like cortisol. And then, step 3, all that stress actively degrades your prefrontal cortex, which is the logical, rational part of your brain. The result? Poor judgment. It's literally a psychological domino effect. And when that stress hits, human reactions become dangerously predictable. You've probably seen this yourself. Some people just freeze, right? They get so overwhelmed by the ambiguity that they avoid making a decision entirely. Others swing the complete opposite way. They rush into impulsive, reckless actions just to feel like they're doing something. But a massive number of people fall into a third trap. They sacrifice long-term success purely for short-term survival. They basically stop playing to win and start playing just to survive the day. So why aren't we better prepared for this? Well, look at traditional education on the left. We get books, expensive leadership workshops, memorized concepts. But let's be real, knowing a strategy concept in a safe, comfortable classroom goes right out the window when the actual pressure hits. Reality is a totally different beast. As you can see on the right, when the heat is on, it's all about emotional control and maintaining strategic thinking under fire. Traditional learning methods fall flat because they just don't simulate that visceral pressure. Because here is the undeniable truth. Decision-making is not just knowledge, it is behavior. You can have all the data, all the theoretical models in the world, but if your emotional regulation collapses the second things get tough, your knowledge is completely useless. Taking action and keeping your emotions in check, that is what actually matters when the stakes are high. All right, let's look at how to fix this in Section 3, the Destiny Path solution, a really exciting new way to train. So what exactly is Destiny Path? Put simply, it's an advanced, gamified decision-making experience. It's specifically designed to simulate realistic, high-stakes business and life challenges. Think of it as a bridge. It crosses that massive gap we just talked about between safe, theoretical classroom learning and the harsh, stressful realities of real-world uncertainty. Let's peek under the hood here. Imagine being deliberately dropped into a high-stakes scenario where, honestly, every single answer feels wrong. You're facing dynamic, shifting variables inspired directly by real-world unpredictability. You're forced to analyze incomplete information on the fly. You have to actively manage risk in real time, and you're constantly trying to balance surviving the moment with achieving long-term growth. It perfectly mirrors the exact pressures of that modern reality we outlined earlier. But this isn't just a game. It's basically an interactive mirror for your mind. As you play, step 1, Every single decision you make creates immediate consequences. And crucially, moving to step 2, every choice actively reveals your underlying thinking patterns. By shining a light on these habits, step 3 kicks in. Every challenge becomes a targeted opportunity for you to actually grow and adapt. Now, what makes this simulation entirely unique in the market is how it combines these 4 core pillars. It leverages deep behavioral psychology and proven strategic thinking frameworks, but it wraps the whole shebang in engaging gamification. And the best part? It uses AI-powered analysis behind the scenes to process and evaluate exactly how you're thinking and deciding in these stressful moments. It's a remarkably comprehensive approach. Which leads us to our final part, Section 4. Shaping your future and looking at the real-world outcomes. This, right here, is the absolute gold mine of the experience. As players navigate Destiny Path, they discover their own personal baselines. They learn exactly how they, as individuals, react when the pressure is on. They see firsthand how they handle ambiguity. The AI analysis reveals whether their default thinking leans defensive or genuinely strategic. And it shows if their instinct is to completely run away from risk or swing wildly into reckless action. Figuring out these personal blind spots and patterns, that is the absolutely necessary first step to actually improving them. And I really want to emphasize a crucial takeaway here. Winning the simulation is essentially beside the point. The ultimate goal is to build stronger decision makers for the real world. The entire system is built to forge better, more resilient leaders and professionals who can handle messy reality, not just rack up a high score in a game. The end result is what we call the adapted decision maker. This is someone who has actively trained their behavior, not just memorized a textbook. They are the ones who remain calm when things get crazy. They retain their ability to think critically, even when the pressure is immense. Because of this, they adapt significantly faster to change. And ultimately, they make smarter, more effective choices when the future is entirely unclear. This is pretty much the exact blueprint for the ideal modern leader. And that brings us to the core thesis of this entire explainer. In the modern world, success no longer belongs to the people who simply hoard the most information. That era is over. Success belongs to the people who can make the absolute best decisions, even when that information is wildly incomplete. Your entire future is shaped by how you handle the unknown. Destiny Path provides a powerful way to master that exact skill before the real-world consequences hit. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Every single decision you make creates an entirely new path forward. When faced with uncertainty, what path will you choose? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, keep adapting, and I'll catch you next time.